Developing this morning, the state auditor here in New Mexico is now suggesting laws may have been broken the way that taxpayer money is being handled at the Bernalillo County Treasurer's Office.
That's right. News 13 has learned that federal investigators are now asking questions about the treasurer's investment practices. State Auditor Hector Valderes is ordering a special audit investigation into how Bernalillo County Treasurer Manny Ortiz and his Chief Investment Officer Patrick Padilla managed the investment of hundreds of millions of dollars in property tax revenue, which funds county operations. We'll, of course, keep you posted on how all of this develops. Albuquerque Mayor R.J. Berry is already making his wish list for the legislature. During his State of the City address last night, Mr. Berry outlined Albuquerque's accomplishments and talked about where he wants to take the city during his second term. Mayor Berry talked about Albuquerque's job growth with companies such as Canon and Eclipse Aerospace and the success of the film industry here with productions including Breaking Bad. Mayor Berry also touted his education initiatives, promised to focus on mental health issues, and announced an idea to retain qualified officers at the police department that would allow officers to return to the force after they've retired while keeping their pension payments in a bank account that they could access once they stop working again.
It incentivizes them to stay on the force for an additional 5 years, past the 20 years when they could normally retire, or it allows us to bring the best and brightest back, take that experience and put them right back on the front lines of our police department.
Mayor Berry calls that plan drop and says he'll ask the legislature to pass a bill supporting it.
Governor Susana Martinez says she has stayed away from backing either side in the late-term abortion ban fight in Albuquerque, despite a recent photo of her and a prominent activist that has surfaced. After a press event last month, Martinez took pictures with several anti-abortion activists, including Bud Shaver. Shaver then posted that picture onto his website. Shaver is the person behind the controversial mobile billboard featuring graphic abortion images that is parked near early voting sites. The governor's office says Governor Martinez does not know Shaver and that the picture is not an endorsement. Early voting is still going on. More than 32,000 people have already voted early in this special election, setting a city record according to the city clerk's office. That surpasses the early voting numbers in last month's mayoral election. Early and absentee voting, by the way, ends tomorrow.
Well, Santa Fe wants the government to halt construction on a controversial pipeline, and now they're calling on the president to do it. Santa Fe City Council last night passed a resolution asking President Obama to stop the creation of the controversial XL pipeline by denying the permit application from TransCanada. The pipeline would take crude oil from Canada down to the Gulf Coast. Santa Fe's Mayor David Koss says Santa Fe needs to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, creating climate change. The watchdog group Public Citizen says it's documented more than 100 areas where parts of the pipe was dug up and needed repairs. TransCanada says those repairs, well, they're simply routine maintenance. Well, folks in Mora County are now suing the county to try to overturn the ban on oil drilling there. Mora County banned all types of oil and gas extraction, and it's the first in the county in the nation to go ahead and do this. County leaders say they want to preserve the land. Well, now the Independent Petroleum Association of New Mexico and 3 people who live in Mora County are suing the county commission, saying that ban violates their civil rights.
If you have signed up for health insurance under the new Affordable Care Act, you're one of the few. Fewer than 200 New Mexicans have signed up so far. There have been a lot of technical problems with the federal website. So far, fewer than 27,000 people nationwide have enrolled through the site, according to the Obama administration. A recent outbreak of whooping cough has the Albuquerque Public School District reaching out to parents and helping them take extra precautions to protect their families. The district held a meeting last night for parents worried about the outbreak. There's been 32 confirmed cases of the disease, 2 suspected, all out of La Cueva High School. Whooping cough, or pertussis, is highly contagious. It isn't typically life-threatening for teens and adults, but it can be for infants and people with weak immune systems. The district gave out free pertussis and flu shots at the meeting yesterday.
Well, we heard about the outbreak of pertussis here in the community and just wanted to make sure that both our sons are protected against it.
Most parents were alerted about the outbreak by an automated call from the school.
A now former Albuquerque police officer at the center of a federal child porn investigation is set to make his first appearance in federal court this morning. Nelson Begay was arrested at his home near Lomas and Eubank yesterday afternoon. There he is. It's less than 24 hours after Begay resigned from APD.
And thinking that you're safe with the police officer there, and dealing with kids, that's very sad. Kids are innocent, you know, they have nothing to do with it, and then an officer having, you know, he should have more sense being an officer.
Investigation first came to light last week when federal and local agents served a search warrant at Begay's home. If convicted, he faces between 5 and 20 years in federal prison.
And child porn has also been found on a state-run computer, but in this case, nobody will be arrested. Investigators say that's because the porn was downloaded back in 2005. The Department of Information Technology in New Mexico found on one of their computers back in August during routine maintenance a bunch of child porn. Now, officials say they'll probably never know who downloaded it.
Back then, security controls on accounts weren't nearly as stringent as they are today. So folks could move items into different accounts easily without being detected.
The investigation has come to the closing stages already, so we weren't able to determine who else it could have been at this time.
The state IT department says it has stricter security measures in place now that will allow them to trace any activity like this in the future.